So why is it important to be woke? I use the word woke because I think that's catchy and that's something that you will take note of and wonder, okay, what is woke? For those of you who know what woke is, good. And for those of you who don't, well, come back and let's talk about it. So why am I saying you need to be woke? For many reasons. First of all, you want to keep your license. You want to keep your job. You want to be able to live and work with other people because, again, it's not about you. I keep saying this. You have your opinion. Yes, and that's fine. But by and large, when you go to a place of work, a place of where you have other people from other backgrounds, beliefs, value system, customs, and what have you, well, you start to find that your opinions matter, yes. However, you're not going to impose it on other people or not respond in a positive way to others who are different from you. So that's what I mean by your opinion really doesn't, it's not about you. Your opinion really doesn't matter. It matters as long as there's respect for everyone. You need to understand this. Being woke just means being sensitive, okay? There are many things that I see at work that I do not necessarily believe in because I have been raised in a certain way. I am not only, raised in a certain way. I am a female, I am Black, I have my faith, I have things that I believe in, which doesn't necessarily agree or align with everybody else. So we need to understand that. Part of being a good nurse, part of being a good CNA is that you're culturally sensitive, that you are aware, and that is what woke being means, okay? Do not take things personal. It really is a waste of time if you do that because you're just going to be frustrated. Now, having said this, let me put some things in perspective. I have, again, I've been doing this a long time, so I've got stories, okay? So there's a place where I have worked. I've actually shared this with my students before. And some of them are just bewildered by the stories I tell them, like, oh my God, how did you cope? Well, I'm like, you're not the only one who feels that way because even the colleagues that I work with feel a certain way too. So I've been in places as a Black person and some people, patients, do not care for my skin tone. That's their problem. It's not my problem. However, you need to understand they have a right to refuse care. And they have a right to refuse care from me. Okay. So, many things that I take into consideration, and this is how I cope. Everyone has an opinion. It's like, how they say, like an asshole. Okay, I actually said that. But not every opinion, every opinion cannot be right, okay, or wrong for that matter. But this is how I cope with it. So I have a patient who doesn't want me treating them or receiving medication from me. Does it hurt me? Actually, no. I mean, I joke about it like, oh, well, one less patient to take care of. Because if you do work in a nursing home, it can be heavy. But I also know in the hospital is the same thing. It's just because there's just so much, very skilled care. So when you have one less patient, every nurse, every CNA is happy. However, one thing you need to know, and I put this at the back of my mind, I really don't know anything about that patient. I don't know how they've been raised. And frankly, they're entitled to their opinion. It's theirs. It's what they think about whatever is their opinion. I have my own opinion too. The only difference is I'm not going to express it to hurt the patient or to hurt the workplace. I can't because that's my job. So again, I was talking about this patient who didn't care for my ethnic background and an older person. And what came to my mind is, well, she's from a different era where the era that I'm growing up right now is we're more accepting. Now, don't get me wrong, we have racists everywhere. We have people, misogynist. We have We have all bigots, what have you. We have all that. The only thing is when you're outside your house, you keep those opinions to yourself, okay? Because nobody really cares. So, and she would do this, and my colleagues wondered why I wasn't upset with her. Well, one thing I just thought she was an older lady who grew up in a time, and that's all she knows. And I know some people argue that no, she should have known better by now. Maybe so, but I can't spend all my time trying to psychoanalyze her. But what I tried to do was see if I could get another nurse, okay, to give her a medication because she needed this medication, but she wasn't going to take it from me. Eventually, some nurses will agree to do it, and they're like, yeah, because again, I don't blame them, because for those who didn't want to do it, they're like, no, this is adding into my work. She should be able to get over it, okay? This is a new dispensation, new era. She should get with the program, so I would try as much as possible, but she was very adamant. Okay, but I made sure I was documenting. I was letting everybody knew. Okay, she was a diva, but then she was especially against Negroes. I use the word because I can use it. Okay, so but then you're gonna find people like that. You're gonna find women who refuse male care. Does that make sense? They don't want a man tending to them. Sometimes the women are fine, is their husbands or their brothers or their kids who don't want a male person to take care of them. But you need to understand, it's not personal against you. Just keep it moving. Keep it moving, boy. Keep it moving, girl. It's not about you. You just do your job. Okay? They have a right to refuse. You have a right to refuse care from anyone. So that's how I see it. And then sometimes you find people make disparaging remarks. Yes, it can be very annoying, and sometimes it stops you in your tracks. I do remember some time ago, someone has said something about, oh, it must be nice. Again, this is going to get very graphic. That it was a male person, and apparently I didn't even have him, but I was, again, in my usual nice way. This was like, oh my God, it was very early on in my career. I think it was like in 2004. And I went in there because, again, teamwork, trying to help some other nurse. And he's like, I've been waiting, and no one's been there. I'm like, I'm sorry, sir. Tell me what I can help you with. It's like, oh, it must feel nice not to have chains around your neck. Now, as she said it, the CNA who was coming behind me heard it, and she was livid. She's black. And I was like, and I answered him, I'm like, yes, it does feel very nice, but that really doesn't apply to me, but what can I help you with? Again, I said that very respectfully, with a smile on my face. How did I do it? I don't know. Because again, people's opinions of me, I don't think it really, I've schooled myself to believe that I really don't care for negativity. It's not me. You can say whatever you want about me, but it's not me. That's not what I believe of me. So, and she was livid, and she went, because she was actually coming to get the light, and she was like, oh, no, you will not talk that way to then she went on, and I'm like, it's okay. She's like, no, it is not okay. We should not enable him. And she went on and on, and I get it. Don't think that I didn't get when she was doing that. But it was getting to a part now where, first and foremost, he's probably losing it, right? Because what I thought in my mind is, okay, he should know better. And that is true, because he was a younger person. At least was like in his 50s in 2004. So that's not too old. Okay, he was there for rehab. So he's expressing learned behavior. But I wasn't going to get into that with him. I just, in my mind, the way I coped with it was, oh, poor thing. See, I get to go home and he's here. And that's what I had in my mind. That's how I coped with it. So when you come across things like that, you can try what I try, think about how lucky and how blessed you are that you can stand, and you are on the opposite side. You're the one tending to them. So when people are sick, because it does happen, they lash out, and he's just lashing out. And the place where he went to a place he shouldn't have, because the aide was livid. She went on and on and on and on and on about it. And I get it. And that's, but my thing is, sometimes They will take you to places you don't want to go. You don't want to go to those places, and you don't want them to drag you there, So it's happened before. I've had a male refuse me care before. Refuse me giving care because, well, I found out later. I didn't know when that happened, but he would always be, he was affected by my presence. So he didn't want me to catheterize him. Does that make sense? For those nurses and those aides, because it's happened, sometimes you're catheterizing him and he would his body will respond. For those of you who know what I'm talking about, but I'm sure you do know what I'm talking about. And that used to embarrass him. But I was sensitive to it. So when they told me I'm like, okay, that's fine. He would rather someone, a guy, okay, or an older person, or someone he wasn't, I don't know what it was. And I remember some of the nurses, and they kind of laughed about it. It was funny. They're like, oh, he gets so and so. But I didn't make him feel, you don't want to make people feel less human. I don't know. I guess it's just me. You got to find something that helps you cope. Now, the reason why I went into all this, to give all this background, is there's a place I am going with this. You got to be woke. You have to know it is not about you. It's not what you're thinking. It's not what your faith tells you. Are you kidding me? Is your faith the only faith believing ideas in the world? Unless you live in an island, which you don't, then you got to be very mindful of how you view or how you share your opinions, because some people are very sharing. You need to stop, okay? So you need to be woke. You need to be woke to people's beliefs, okay? They're going to refuse your care because they can, okay? They're going to make some disparaging marks because, well, I know some of you will say, well, they're not supposed to do that. Well, yeah, but then they do. What are you going to do? Get in a fight? No, you're not. So please be woke. That's all I'm saying. Be woke because it's not worth it, okay? Some are going to, the thing is, just keep it professional. Just keep it professional, all right? So if you got any value from what I talked about today, please smash that like button because it really helps me, and I want you, please help me. Again, click the notification bell and subscribe to me. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. For those of you who are doing it, you just keep encouraging me. I appreciate you. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.